Good morning. Alright. So I have a few different things going on for you guys today, but I'm not sure which one to start with. Alright, let's begin with surrendering to divine timing. We'll start that way because this is kind of partly parenting and partly relationship and things I don't like to get into. Alright, so we all know divine timing. Everything happens as spirit wants it to happen. So when you're going through frustrations and struggles and everything else, it's part of the plan because it's delaying whatever you're trying to get to for a reason, you know. So understand that when you're rushing and trying, you're like, this isn't happening fast enough. It's your ego that is rushing it, you know, because your spirit is not in a rush. Your spirit understands you have time and there's things that you need to learn. So try to step out of your headspace and allow spirit to work the way it needs to work in order for things to unfold properly. Because from my personal experience, because I'm an impatient ass person, I have forced situations to happen, and in forcing them later on down the road, it turned into a fucking disaster. And that's with money, relationships, all types of things. There's things that I force. So try not to force it, you know, because if you allow it to happen and if you're honest and truthful and you're not trying to manipulate it in any way, you'd be surprised at how things actually work and play out in your favor. You know, so don't rush and try to force it to happen because it's not going to be in your highest good. I can tell you from personal experience. So understand. Your manifestations now. This is the perfect time to manifest things. Good morning, Janine. If you are manifesting things, this is the perfect time to manifest, okay? We're in the month of Libra, and it's all about manifesting shit. So please manifest away, and your manifestations will come to fruition, and it will be, you know, I try to do everything in the highest good. So if I'm manifesting things, I want it to be for the highest good of everyone. I don't just want it to be, okay, well, I want this, or I want this person, or whatever combination it is, because let's say you're manifesting someone, a specific person, and okay, you know, spirit's trying to not give you that person because they're fucked up, and you keep on trying to manifest this. So in manifesting this, now you have to be certain that you're prepared for the cost of that relationship. You're prepared for all the bullshit you're going to have to suffer through in that relationship. You know, so choose carefully what you're trying to manifest. You know, if you're looking for a soulmate, if you're looking for true love, then only send that intention out. Don't attach it to a specific person. Because when we start attaching things to specific things and specific people, we might get it, but we might not like the result or the price we have to pay for it, you know? Because it could be a job that we're like, yes, I want this job. And then you get the job and you realize it's not everything you thought it was going to be. And then you're miserable and you're stuck doing that fucking job. So choose carefully what you're manifesting and be a little bit more open with your requests, okay? Now, calmness is not a weakness. You know, I know people look at other people that are calm or not confrontational, or, you know, they don't have any interest in drama or fighting, as they see it as a form of weakness, and that's not what it is. You know, you're calm because you pay attention to what the possible outcome can be. You know what the consequences are. So it's okay to remain in peace, because when you remain in peace, you still allow everything to flow naturally. When you're not calm and you're anxious and you're going crazy, you're putting blockages up. And if you're sitting there entertaining drama, then stop entertaining the drama. It's not going to be beneficial to anyone. You know, it's not a time for entertaining drama, especially if the shit's not your own drama. You know, if it's somebody else's shit, you tell them I love you, I hope it works out for you, let me know on the back end if you need something from me. But don't put yourself in the middle of other people's shit, because it's not your business, and all it's going to do is fuck up your shit. Okay, so don't do that to yourself. Alright. Understand that spirit has a mission for you, and you have a blueprint, and your blueprint on this planet is not for power and wealth. When you come to this planet, it's about attaining a great level of love and happiness. That is what our purpose is here, you know. So you have to be cautious of being greedy or envious and fearful and procrastination. You know, be careful with all of those things, because they're going to hinder you, and you don't want to be hindered. You know, we're not here for material wealth. While it does come, it comes when you're happy, when you're at one with yourself, when you're at peace, and when you're on your soul's path, everything will play out. But understand, your soul is not going to let you steer away from what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, when you have a mission, Spirit's going to ensure that you carry out with whatever contract you agreed to before you came here. So don't make it harder on yourself. You know, allow things to unfold the way they're meant to unfold, because the more you fight, the more you resist, the harder things are going to be. Now, when it comes in an aspect of relationships, you know, I know we've all had fucked up relationships. Oh, thank you. We've all had fucked up relationships, and we've all done things that, you know, we're not proud of, and we've had things done to us that we probably don't ever want to speak about again. But understand that the stories in your relationships, look at them as a lesson. Think of every fucked up situation. If you've been cheated on, look at it as, okay, well, this taught me to maybe ask questions, or to not let people walk all over me, or to learn how to be unconditionally loving. You know, because when we're presented with partners, that's usually where we learn our hardest lessons, you know, because Spirit knows that we love them and we don't want to lose them. But if you've been through these situations and you've been through these lessons, look at them as that. You know, don't look at it as, oh, this fucking did this to me, this did that to me, whatever, because maybe it's preparing you for a greater relationship. Maybe it has prepared, all these things have prepared you to be ready for that one relationship that, had you not gone through any of those things, you wouldn't appreciate the relationship, you know. So don't look at it as something that was hindering or something that is going to keep you in a fearful state. Look at it as, okay, this was preparing me to be appreciative of the next person I have, to truly be able to love that person and be respectful of that person and not do the shitty things I did before, you know. So look at it in that aspect. Don't shy away from what Spirit is presenting you, because I told you, the person that they're presenting you with is a soulmate. It's a relationship that is going to help you heal. So you have to allow it to happen in order for you to begin healing, especially if you've been broken for so long and you're just terrified. You have to let someone in to do that, you know, and Spirit's giving it. It's a gift. Accept the gift. Now, stubbornness is an issue. And I say that because, you know, I deal with people that are very stubborn on a regular basis. It's like they're just fucking magnets to me, because I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balance and I want to keep the peace and I don't want to deal with nobody's bullshit. So understand that when you're stubborn, I have my stubborn moments too, don't get me wrong. You know, you're set in your way, and you have to kind of move out of your own way to allow things to happen. Because if you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to talk to them because they hurt my feelings, or they did something that I feel was fucked up. But have you taken the time out to actually have an adult conversation with that person in regards to what happened, to figure out how it happened and why it happened, and get to the bottom of it to try to resolve it? And the answer is probably no, because if you're being stubborn, you're just looking at it from your perspective. You're playing the victim. And like I said, it's fine to be the victim initially, but what you have to get past that. You know, you have to accept that, okay, this happened and it's time for me to move forward now. Okay, cry, yell, whatever it is that you do it, get it out your system. But understand that stubbornness is stopping you. You know, it's stopping you from accepting the blessings. It's stopping you from accepting the person that Spirit is presenting to you. You know, you have to stop living in this state of fear. The fear is only there because it's a lie. It's a lie that you told yourself to protect you. Good morning, my love. Yeah, I'm my own worst enemy too, girl. I will sabotage the fuck out of some situations. You have no idea. I'm working on it though. I'm working on being better. So understand, like, when you take a stance on something, all you're doing is stopping your own shit. So try not to be Janine. I feel like Tauruses are like drawn to me like magnets. I don't know what it is. Oh god. So your stubbornness is not going to be beneficial to you. You have to come from a different perspective. You have to try to look at things from the outside in, put yourself in that person's shoes and be like, okay, well, if I was that person and I was going through these things and you treated me how I treated you at that moment, how would I feel about you? How would I have reacted? You know, maybe it wouldn't have been the same reaction, but it would have been the same in essence. You know, you probably would have done some shit. You would have been like, you know what, fuck you, I ain't dealing with you no more. Like, I don't need this bullshit. So try to release the stubbornness, you know, get out of your own way and allow things to flow. And I know it's hard because sometimes you just like, no, I don't give a fuck that shit, I'm not doing it, this is taking forever, I'm not in the mood to be waiting. I get all of that, you know, but again, that we go back to divine timing. You have to allow things to happen in Spirit's time and take everything that has happened as a lesson to you. Now, the person that Spirit brought you, Spirit is requesting that you express your feelings honestly and openly and stand in your truth and speak from your heart, because as I said, Spirit is not going to allow you to move wherever you're trying to move when they have a specific path for you, especially if you have a spiritual path and a spiritual partner that you're supposed to be with, and you're supposed to be creating things, or you have a greater mission here. You know, you agreed to this, so it's either you're going to go the good way or you're going to go the bad way. Either way, you're going to get there, because Spirit's telling you it's not happening. Like, we had a plan, this is what's happening. So you guys need to really be honest with the person you're dealing with, or however, you know, I don't know if you're single, married, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. But it's important, because Spirit's calling for communication. And like I said, you guys, communication is hard, you know, and I can say that because there's many a times where I was not able to communicate. My voice was taken from me at a very young age, and it felt like I didn't have a voice for a really long time, and it took me a while to actually be comfortable enough to speak what I felt and say things even if I was fearful of what the outcome was going to be. And sometimes you have to do that, because when you stand in your truth and you speak honestly from your heart, the outcome is not nearly as bad as you think it's going to be. Like, it really isn't, and believe me, I know. Now, if you're in a fucked up abusive situation, then maybe it might not be the best, you know. Girl, single forever sounds fucking awesome, because listen, the way I feel, I'd be like, yeah, why? Like, I don't need the headache, I don't need the stress, I don't need none of this shit. I could be by myself forever. You know, but you miss the cuddling and the affection and all of that shit, and you know, it's a toss-up, but fuck that. You know, wait for your right person. You know, you don't even have to search. When you're healed and you love yourself, the right person will come to you. And sometimes it's fucking a shitload of people at one time. All I keep going back to is this fucking meme where you have all these hot dogs flying at the face. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's what I think of, because it's like fucking men just everywhere, and I'm like, where the fuck did y'all come from? But please, communication is important, okay? And even if you're afraid to communicate and your voice has been taken from you, understand, when you stand in your truth, you have power, okay? Spirit is there to help you and help you with the strength. And if you don't feel you have the strength, ask Spirit to assist you, you know. Call in the angels, call in your freaking ancestors, your guides, call in whoever it is you need to call in so that they can help you build the strength and find the strength to say the things that you need to say. But you really need to step out of your own way and out of your head, because your head is giving you all these false realities. Oh, well, look it up because it's hilarious, and that's the image that comes to my mind when the men just gravitate. I'm just like sorry. But yeah, the stubbornness is is bad for you. And if you're, like I said, if you're just taking a stance on something that is not valid or something you don't even have clear information on, no, you need to stop. Like, go forth and say, I want to talk to you, even if it's something that you fear is going to hurt you, even if it's something that did hurt you. You can't resolve situations without talking about it truthfully and honestly from your heart. Your heart's like, I'm in love, and I'm in love, and I love this person, and I want to be with this person. But your head is like, nah, they did this to me, and it's fucked up that they did that, and they played me, and all this, that, and the third. But it's your ego. It's your fear. That is what it is, because you're remembering these past scenarios from your past relationships. And you had bad experiences, but try to step out of that and understand every experience isn't the same, especially if this was a situation and you weren't even in a relationship, and it was like, oh, well, they did this fucked up shit, but we weren't together. I never expressed anything. I never said anything. And I was a shitty person. So it's like, try to find the balance and shit and be honest. Stop being stubborn and get out of your head. You have to get out of your headspace and operate from here in order to express yourself and be able to handle the open communication. And understand that sometimes it will be painful. Sometimes you will cry. But you will feel so much freer. There won't be a question of what if. You won't feel anxious all the fucking time, driving yourself crazy with all these scenarios and possible way things are going to happen. It's easier to just open your mouth and spit it out. And Spirit says you can write the shit down, you can journal it. You fucking, however you want to get it out, but get it out of your system, because it's going to stay in the back of your head and it creates energy, and it's negative energy because you don't want to release it and you're not focusing on what Spirit's telling you. So you're at a discord inside and you're going crazy, wondering why your life's fucked up and why shit's not working out so smoothly, because you're not balanced, okay? So if you need to write it, write it. I say communicate directly with the person because you get some back and forth and clarity. But if that's not your thing, get it out another way, And it's time. Girl, believe me, I know when my head is a place where I can think of about 1,000 different scenarios in a matter of seconds, and they're just like, when I talk to people and I tell them what's going through my mind, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. Like, my mind is a crazy place. You don't want to go visit there ever. But so surrender frustrations. Like I said, frustrations is not good for you, and Spirit wants you to kind of take a break. If you've been working on stuff or trying to manifest stuff, Spirit wants you to understand that slow and steady wins the race, okay? You can't rush everything. You can't force everything. And like I said, you can, but there's going to be a hefty price tag on the end of that. Are you sure you want to pay that? And when you're working on things, you can't work yourself to the point of exhaustion. When you do that, your brain becomes overactive. Your brain starts going crazy. And you have to relax. Your mind needs the silence. Like, your body needs the quiet to kind of center and allow messages to come in. And if you're overworking, you're not paying attention to Spirit. You're not getting the messages spirits are giving you. And maybe you are getting the messages of Spirit and you're ignoring them because you're being stubborn as fuck. Either way, understand that everything goes hand in hand. And once you start allowing the pieces to fall where they're supposed to fall, everything unfolds naturally and for your highest good. If you keep resisting and trying to go this way or that way, or take a shortcut and do all this other shit, it's not going to be beneficial to you. You are going to go learn more lessons, and there are probably going to be more lessons that reinforce all the bullshit you already know, because you don't want to listen to spirit. So keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Understand that the more you resist what spirit has for you, you're going to learn more lessons. But they're not going to be the lessons you want. They're not going to be the blessings that you're hoping for, okay? Because spirit is gifting you, and you're just kind of like saying, fuck you, spirit. So take it as it will, however it resonates for you, you know, and that could be in any aspect. It could be relationship, could be business, fucking family, however, you know. And they want you, kindness counts. So when you're standing in stubbornness and frustration, you have a tendency of being more defensive and snapping at people and saying things that we probably don't really mean because we're in a bad mood, and we bite people's heads off, you know. And that comes with part of finding yourself and being at peace with yourself, so that way you don't respond in that manner, you know. Be kind to people, because you don't know the kind of day other people are having. And especially if you're a parent, understand that our little people have very sensitive emotions, you know, because they love us. They love us unconditionally. They don't judge us. They're just like, they're there. They love us. And it hurts their feelings when we snap at them, or if we're frustrated and we yell at them. You know, try not to do that, because they're our future. They are what we create. Whatever we put into our children is what we're going to get back. So if you look at it as, okay, well, maybe I'm not spending enough time with my child, maybe you should do that. And it doesn't have to be an extensive amount of time. Literally, you spend 10-15 minutes talking to your kid a day, it makes a world of a difference, you know, because it shows them that you're interested in them. You're interested in what's going on in their life, and you want to have that open communication, especially when they start becoming teenagers, because that's when they start doing all the fucked up shit, you know. And I talk to my kids and I tell them, yeah, it's hard, you know. It's hard sometimes because for the most part I'm really peaceful and shit, but there's days where they're like fucking with you so much, and I'm just like, dude, why do you want me to be the mean mom? I don't want to be mean. I don't want to punish you. Like, cut it out, you know. And sometimes you have to, but you know, try to find that balance, because you know, we get caught up in our own feelings. We get caught up in our own shit and in our own heads, and we forget that they have feelings, that they want attention, that they want time, and they want to do things with us too. You know, they miss us. They're in school or they're working. I don't know how old your kids are, but you know, they miss us. And because this is our kids, we're in a relationship with these little people for like 18 years. They're living with us, and then they leave us, and then we don't see them as much, and then we miss them. And then if you don't have a strong foundation with your child, they're probably not going to be as communicative. They're not going to visit you as much. You're not going to see them that often. So you have to keep all of this in your mind. Hi, Dory. How are you doing today? So please understand, it's important, because our little children, they're our little children. They're our future, and they are a mirror of us. Oh, thank you so much. Morning, Danny. So understand, our children are everything, and if we don't put into them what we want back, we're gonna get these, you see these, the way these kids are these days, they run around crazy and doing all these fucking things that you're just like, where the fuck is your mother? Like, that's me. I'd be like, where the fuck is your mom? Like, we need to have a conversation. This is crazy. But look at it, like I said, 10-15 minutes, have a conversation. Because I like I talk to them and be like, oh, you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, how's this, how's that? And I try to guide them, because people look at their children as possessions, and our children aren't possessions. They were gifted to us. They chose us to be their guides in this lifetime. So that's how I approach my children, as I'm here basically as their teacher. I'm here to guide them through the path of earth, and try to keep them from falling in the same pitfalls that I fell into, and make better choices so that they have a better opportunity. And if people approach it like that, kids today, girl, yes, they're horrible. That's why it's important, you know, instill manners in your kids. Teach your children how to communicate, because that is the biggest problem in society. People don't teach their children to communicate effectively. You know, if you have hood kids, they fighting. Like, that's what they teach them. They're like, okay, well, you're gonna fuck somebody up and that's it. And it becomes an issue because the kids that do communicate are scared now because they don't want to get punched in the face. So it's like, it's horrible. And if we could just get everybody on the same page and just teach your children to communicate effectively, and it's okay if your feelings get hurt, and it's okay if you're mad, and it's okay if you're frustrated. Let them know it's okay to have those feelings, because it is okay. If we don't tell them it's okay, then they're gonna be like us, have all types of shit bottled up in places that don't need to be, and we're losing our fucking minds, and then working at fucking old ass age trying to figure our lives out. Like, don't do that to your kids, okay? So try not to be so frustrated with them. And if you find yourself frustrated, because I'm that parent that I will remove myself. I'd be like, you know what? I need a timeout, and I'm gonna go take a fucking timeout. I'll be back when I can breathe and I'm calm, and I'll deal with it, because those are for my real, like, what the fuck did you just do situations, and I'll be like, I'll be back. So just remove yourself if it really gets to that point. Try to just understand, they look to you for guidance, and you are their biggest role model. They love you, they look up to you, even if you don't see it. They look up to you. And if you see behavior you don't like, check yourself, because the behavior that you see in your kids and the behavior you don't like is a reflection of you. They're picking up your energy. So even if you don't do it in front of them, or you're not deliberately showing them, they're picking up your energy. So they take that from you, okay? And like I said, a lot of this I learn as I go, and as I'm learning, I'm like sharing with you guys, and just trying to help everyone raise their vibration and come to a better place so that we have a better world in the future. I'm good on kids. I don't need extra kids. I got my own kids that I got to deal with. Thank you, though. You have to discipline them appropriately. You have to, just find a balance. You know what works for your kids. You know what works for your children. You know what doesn't work for your children, because you look at your children as individuals. Don't group them together. Look at them as, okay, well, this type of discipline works for this one. This type of discipline works for that one. And like my son, he's very stubborn, very fucking stubborn, very emotional. And I can't approach him with aggression. I can't approach him yelling at him or anything like that. I have to sit down and have a conversation with him and explain to him why he shouldn't have done that, and the other things he could have done. And at that point, it like registers with him, and I have a better reaction. Now, if I just tell him, you're grounded, or I yell at him, he's not responsive to me. So you have to approach each child as an individual child and understand how they function. And I look at all of my kids' zodiac charts, like their birth charts, everything, so it gives me a better understanding of who they are to the core of them, so that way we can have a better relationship. And if you haven't, try it. You'd be surprised at how much that shit tells you about yourself, your kids, your partner, every fucking thing. It's very accurate. But just be good, do your best. Your kids love you regardless, and I know it's easy to get caught up in ourselves and frustrated, but they get frustrated. They don't know what to do with it. Yes, they be like, la 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 la, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't know. I really do. Like, I'll sit there, I'll be that mom that I'm like, come sit down and talk to me, and I'll spend 30 minutes like we're having a conversation, and they're just like, oh my God. I'm like, well, should have thought about it. You wouldn't be sitting here listening to me talk. So, surrender your stubbornness, surrender your frustration, allow divine timing to work in the way it's meant to work. Be honest and communicative, okay? Be honest and communicative with your children, because they understand a lot more than you think they do, regardless of the age. And the best thing is to be honest. Don't lie or hide things from them, because then it gives them the feeling that they did something wrong. So always honest and open. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, wah, 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 wah. And for the relationship that you're dealing with, that spirit is guiding you towards, again, open and honest communication is the only way things are going to get resolved for the highest good. Okay, so take everything slow and steady right now. Don't rush it. Just let it fall into place. Take your time and allow things to fall where they may, because if you keep applying pressure and you keep standing your ground and not budging, it's not going to work out the way it's supposed to, okay? So just allow it. And be sure that the things you are manifesting are for the highest good. Don't manifest things out of emotion and saying, oh, well, I just want this person, I just want this person. Because you might get that person, but then that person might be a liar, a cheater, or a fucking abuser. Like, you don't know. So just leave it open. Say, I want my soulmate, I want love, I want these things, okay? And that's it, you know. Those are your messages for today. I hope they resonate with you. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.